What's up, peoples? What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm just trying to set some things up. I know I'm running a little bit later than what I said. My deepest apologies. You know, I'll be running on that CP time. You know what I'm saying? Let me just do a couple things. I just want to retweet this out because this is this is a very important matter. And I want to share my thoughts with as many people as possible. And then let me do something else too. You're going to hear a second set of claps because, like I told y'all, yeah, let's do it. Come on, man. Come on, Mixer, stop playing. Then second set of claps represent the PNTS network, as I told y'all all week for E3 week, that I am being simulcasted on the PNTSnetwork.com. Big ups to the CEO, TRS at Scram Punks, you know what I'm saying, doing this thing, drinking his Coca Cabanas. But Scram Punks will be back soon, you know what I'm saying, so stay tuned for more details on that, all right? Before we get started, I just want to do some shout outs real quick, you know what I'm saying, while I'm trying to get this everything together. Big ups to Triple B as always, you know what I'm saying. Next Gen 720, still in Twitter jail, you know what I'm saying. Post Up Mass, King's Blood, Nethos, Noah out there starting trouble and mayhem as usual, you know what I'm saying, doing this thing. J-Wags, Xbox Juice, Devil Dog, J Dot, Xavier Bay, you know what I'm saying? And anybody that I may have forgot, I'm still buzzing off my Zimas and my 2 shots of tequila. Hey, look, man, I'm an old head, and Zimas represent when I was growing up and going to school. And we did something foul with Ordain, man. We got Ordain hooked on the Zimas and 2 shots of tequila. Man, I'm put it to you like this, man. I got some good grades. Cause we got this mug on film doing some stuff. We came back the next day. Yo, he was like, man, y'all ain't got that footage, do we? Do you? I was like, hell yeah. So Zima represents your boy passing with good grades. So I was on my foolery back then too. With that being said, let me just do one more thing. I want to tweet this out. I'm not going to go to all the gamer groups. I ain't got time for all that. I got stuff to do today. But I do want to definitely get this out to everybody. Okay. All right, so here's the situation at hand, my friends. Sony fans looking like LeBron James out here, man. Showing up to Game 4's post-conference with a cast on the arm, you know what I'm saying? Man, right now, y'all got more excuses than Reese's has pieces. Straight up. Look, let's just be frank, okay? Nobody's perfect. It is what it is. But when you try to damage control it and make these ridiculous excuses that I've been hearing, that's when stuff goes way left. You know what I'm saying? And it gets out of control. Sony, hold on, whoa, fans look. Okay. All right, I didn't want that additional audio. I had to quiet that down. All right, so let's look at everything in totality. The media's been on Sony's case about what they perceive as a lackluster presentation at E3. Then you couple this with the Fortnite item lock, you know, to where Sony is locking people's Fortnite progression, I guess, as far as it comes to cosmetics and stuff like that, to only their console. When you want to cross sign in on PC or Android, there's no problem. It's just with the other consoles, where the other console makers are not doing that. And this issue has been hitting their bottom line, even as far as their stocks are concerned. Now, where the real big problem is that the fanboys are trying to damage control this. They're going beyond their even so-called coin corporate slave status. You feel what I'm saying? To the what I want to coin now is the corporate house Negro, or for those of you that don't feel comfortable saying Negro, the corporate houseboy status. Y'all don't want beyond this corporate slave status, which I think is a silly, stupid term anyway. But we gonna use it just for the sake of consistency. You know what I mean? And y'all just, like I said, this corporate house Negro status, a corporate house boy. It's not gonna fly. Period. This damage control, this corporate house boy, house Negro stuff is not gonna fly. Because Sony is officially the head, the HCIC, the head console in charge. They got 80 million consoles sold. They outpacing the almighty PlayStation 2, which is the gold standard for console generation. They've even coined the moniker greatness awaits. So fans purchased the PlayStation 4. Even those that are exclusive buffs, they waited the storm of the slowness in exclusives. Even when Yoshida and Andrew House came out and said, yo, I know it's sparse, but it's coming. They waited that storm. And therefore, you had games like God of War come out. Games that are being highly acclaimed are coming out. Games of high expectations are coming out. So therefore, what is expected is greatness ongoing in totality from here on out. They can no longer live off the crutch of kicking Microsoft for being 900p or just kicking Microsoft for not having exclusives. Sony is considered in a way different league now. Totally way different league. And they must maintain those expectations. Period. You can no longer live off the crutch of kicking a dead body. The body's dead as far as the generation is concerned. And that body is Microsoft. They're dead. So, and look, before I go any further, here's my thoughts on E3. Here's your boy's personal thoughts on E3. I think that they both had piss poor presentations. Microsoft and Sony. I actually score Sony's presentation slightly higher because they had less at stake as far as I'm concerned. See, this is not coming from some Microsoft fanboy that believes Phil is the answer to the starving children in the world, you know what I'm saying? And Microsoft can't do no wrong. I've been dogging Phil, and I think I've been fair about it, ever since he got his promotion. My very first video was, Phil got a new promotion. Phil Spencer got a new promotion. I'm not celebrating. I am not a wood buffer. I am not a fanboy. I was an Xbox enthusiast. I preferred their console because what they were offering me is what I liked. And when I saw trouble, I spoke up about it. That's different from what you're seeing from this Sony crowd. They are laser focused on what are we doing against Microsoft, and they're damage controlling everything. And they're damage controlling things that they would have never damage control when they happen on the Microsoft side. And it's against their own benefit, and they're looking very hypocritical because they use terms like corporate slave and all this stupid stuff. But yet y'all looking like the biggest slaves out here. Period. But here's my actual thoughts on E3. I gave Microsoft's conference a 6 and Sony's conference a 6.5. I think the Last of Us trailer, and we'll talk about that later, even though that's mired in controversy. I think Last of Us 2's trailer made it the game of the show. And I think it saved the conference as far as it being the worst conference out there. I mean, EA's was trash, so that would have been, that would have been a battle for the bottom. But that's what saved them from having the worst conference out there was Last of Us 2. So again, I am not a fanboy. I'm an enthusiast. I've even gotten to the point to where with my frustrations with Microsoft, I'm not even claiming them anymore. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I play mainly multiplats. I love Ubisoft, Bethesda. I love being able to play them better on the Xbox One X now. And I also love the ecosystem. There's nothing to laugh at. There's nothing silly or stupid about that. It's just fanboy banning when people do that. The security of it, you can't talk about it. You've even had hackers that said, hey, Sony, y'all still sleeping, man. Y'all still sleeping beyond the wheel. You have the security factor. Then you also have the factor of the online playing, the structure there, and it's a little bit more stable, goes down less. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that there is a boisterous online community. You know what I'm saying? Like, I play a lot of co-op games. You know, I've got hooked to the online thing with Borderlands, the first one. I couldn't imagine being on an ecosystem to where people weren't that active on it routinely. You know what I'm saying? Besides casuals. So there are those features that, you know, give it value. But what overall made me an Xbox guy, which was the AAA sci-fi stuff, you know how they was bringing the Western developed and the PC-esque type games over, they've stopped that. So I'm like, that was my main draw. So I can't even claim y'all no more. Just like I said, I always say this. It's like the shit sandwich versus the cup of piss narrative. If someone got a gun in your head and they say you gotta consume one, you gotta consume shit sandwich or the cup of piss, and you take the cup of piss, does that mean the cup of piss is great? No, it's just a better choice than the shit sandwich, but it don't make the cup of piss great. So because even though I still slightly give an edge personally to my gaming preferences to the Xbox console when it comes to consoles, doesn't mean I'm happy. Doesn't make me a corporate slave. Everybody has a choice. Everybody likes something over something. But I'm not going to defend all their actions, especially when they're not giving me what I came to the system for. And neither should you. So again, those are my thoughts on E3. I actually give a slight edge to Sony, but that doesn't matter because I'm not the only consumer out here. And even you with your corporate slaving, corporate house Negro ass, you're not the only consumer out here too. So it's all about the mass. Let me give you another analogy I've been giving for the last few weeks. You know what I'm saying? And big ups to 6996 in the chat before I get into that. He said, so since Sony is getting hell, is there media bias? And 6996 says, and I agree, my fellow ponies damage controlling like crazy. Shake my head, they let me down. Yes, 6996, there is media bias, but I'm going to talk about the media. See, that's why you got to stay in my chat, man. I hope you're an admin. You got to stay in my chat because you know the bullet points of MM2K before I even get into them. Yes, there's media bias, but it's never, even if it weighs in your favor, it's never something you should lean on. I'm going to get into that into my last section. But I want to give this analogy. An analogy is, all right, so say you running a race, right? I'm going to pick on 6996 because, you know what I'm saying, because they doing the damn thing in the chat. So you running me and 6996 is running a race. 6996 is trying to get on out a football team. All right. So they just pull me from the bleachers. They're like MM2K. Come on. I want you to run along 6996. You know what I'm saying? Keep them in challenge mode. We're trying to get 6996 the fastest time ever in a 50-yard dash. Okay. Again, 6996 is trying to get on football team. They're trying to, clock their fastest time ever. They want to be impressed. They want to impress the people that are watching, the people that can support them. They want them. 6996 wants them to know that they're the fastest mug out here. They just pull me off the bleachers, yo. Race against 6996. Present them that challenge so they can go even faster. Okay, so we line up. On your march, get set, bang. 6996 start is just booking it, running. Now, which is normal for anybody that's running a 50-yard dash. I did back in my somewhat athletic days. Halfway down the mark, you tend to look a little bit, and they try to tell you not to look a little bit. Check out your competition. Now, let's say halfway down the mark, 6996 does that. And they see that I ain't even jumped off the mark. I'm still tying my shoes. Is it okay if 6996 then slows down and starts jogging to the finish line? No. 6996's goal is not to just beat me, but 6996 is to take it to that next level, to score like never's been scored before, and not just in sales, but in overall experience for gamers, period. This is what I think we're losing out on. I think we're misconstruing The console war banter thing, which is fun to get into. I get into it. Yeah, look, I tried to troll the PlayStation Nation. It backfired in my face. Like I said, I feel like Yosemite Sam off a Bugs Bunny cartoon. It backfired in my face. I got the soot and the smoke all over my mustache. Whatever. I get that. That's fun. But at the end of the day, you got to take that console banter jacket off, hang it up, and at the end of the day, you're just gamers. Well, I don't want to say you're just gamers. At the end of the day, we're gamers more than anything. It's more important than anything. And if you can't do that, then you're a corporate slave. So let's get to the issues at hand. The 69966 says in the chat, laugh out loud. Sounds like you took a sip from a Henny bottle. Nah, man. I'm telling you, that Zima, 2 shots of tequila, and then when I went to go re-up, they was like, yeah, drop a Jolly Rancher in there, dude. I was like, oh, word? Okay, boop. I was like, oh, that's what's up, man. So, yeah. We live in that youth, man. Them Zimas help, man. Man, you just don't know. Zimas help me with that D. Maybe I'll get into that story one day. But, okay, so let's get to the issues at hand. First and foremost, let's start with Fortnite. Because Fortnite, to me, is the craziest one of them all. It's crazy. The level of damage controlling that you see with Fortnite. And let me be very clear. I do not feel that Sony has to be forced to condone crossplay. I don't. I would be a hypocrite saying that I'm giving this the medicine and the math and all that other stuff to y'all on a daily basis. Take the pill, it could be a little jagged. It'd be hypocritical of me to thought all those monikers, right? If I didn't respect Sony's business gangster, all right? You got to do that. Look, this is the staple of the company's success. It's gaming. They ain't got time to slack, backtrack, and all that whack when it comes to gaming. They gotta go full steam ahead. They cannot play around. So if they're in the lead and they're seeing their stock price being bolstered up, and they're in a tough sector with Amazon and some other people, right? And they're kind of getting their teeth kicked in as far as the stock price is concerned in regards to the upper echelon of their business line. But they're still doing good financially, but they could be a little bit more lucrative overall as a business. Some other businesses just kind of holding them down, even though over the last half of fiscal year they've all been somewhat profitable. But overall, there's some other lines of businesses holding the company down. So you got to respect their business gangster, meaning you can't expect them to endorse crossplay when they're in the lead. I can't remember. It was the guy that used to be the head of Sony Europe, and then they promoted him, and he was saying a bunch of crazy stuff. I got to remember this guy's name, but then they promoted him when they did their most recent shuffle. He's the one that said we got to protect the kids when they didn't want to do crossplay. And then he just came out and he was like, and then somebody must have pulled him by his 3-piece suit and said, look, man, we going to keep it real, man. They got to respect what we doing on the business side. Just go out there and spit that math. And he went back out there and said, yo, here's the deal. We are not doing crossplay because that would affect the bottom line and that would affect our confidence from our investors. And you know what I'm saying? We value our investors. So that's not something we could just jump into. It's something we're further looking into. And I respected him for that. Just like how people respected Sony when they were getting that heat for the Last of Us 2 trailer. And I even thought your boy, so I got to take the L on that one. I thought them taking a hard stance on it, they was going to catch some heat because the Me Too movement was strong then. You know what I'm saying? And you know how they like to target games. And like I said, this is where we take the fanboy jacket off and we say, yo, we stand united against people trying to attack games. But I thought, yo, that Me Too movement was too strong for Sony, and if they don't address this delicately, they're going to have a problem. And what did Sony do? They came out there and they said, no, this is an adult game from adult gamers. You don't like it? Too bad, so sad. 2 tears in a bucket, get straight up. And they went about their business. And I respected them for that. But that's different from people trying to excuse what Sony has done as far as locking these purchases and these upgrades and stuff like that are now universally swappable anywhere else, but Sony's the only one doing it. And they're using damage control like, well, what about Microsoft and paywalls? they try to, hey, yo, I'm not trying to say any political affiliation that I am, because I don't trust none of these politicians out there. If I feel any of y'all trust any of these mugs, y'all don't believe they in cahoots, man, that's a whole nother kit and caboodle, man. But y'all doing the Trump, still talking about Hillary Clinton. The campaign is over, Chief. You the president. Stop it. You can't do that. That's like an NBA team saying, well, or an NBA All-Star, or like I'm going to use LeBron, because I said, you know what I'm saying, Sony fans looking like LeBron right now after the Game 4, conference with a cast on his arm. More excuses than Reese's has pieces. That's like y'all, LeBron saying, well, y'all jumping on me because I missed free throws, but them high school gamers, they be missing free throws. or to bring it a little bit home, that's like even LeBron comparing himself to someone that is a non-all-star. Well, so-and-so missing free throws. You're an all-star, bro. You're a superstar. You're getting paid superstar money. You're influencing the league. Hell, you the first player coach ever. The coach don't even matter. The coach is just getting paid just for showing up. You the real coach, picking players and all this other stuff. Come on, man. You have no excuse like that to compare yourself to a regular gamer that ain't even no all-star. So stop trying to use Microsoft as an excuse. Microsoft, again, the race is gone. The race is pretty much over. On your march, you set, go, bang. You're halfway down the mark. Sony's halfway down the mark. They turn around, look at Microsoft. They still tying their shoes. They still trying to figure it out. They still looking behind them like, did we run that way? They still trying to figure out, generation's over. Greatness awaits is your moniker. They awaited. Now the greatness should be here. The greatness has to be consistent now. When you become the top dog, that's when the real challenge begins. But you're supposed to know that and embrace it. You must always exhibit why you are on top. You cannot use, again, the lowest common denominator as an excuse. Just to say, well, I'm doing better than them. They still tying their shoes. That don't matter. Greatness awaits, right? I've even heard excuses about, well, Sony, who hosts the servers? Is it Epic or Sony? It's Sony. Okay, well, if somebody returns an item and you know what I'm saying, Epic is going to send them to Sony. So therefore, the flex time capacity, the denominator of the exclusivity, I've even heard that garbage. It don't matter. It's the same case for anybody. They're all hosting those servers if Epic is not hosting them. It's not just Sony, and the rest of them is handling it the way that they're handling it. So why can't Sony? You're making the argument even worse for Sony and making it look worse for them. That practice, worrying about, well, who's going to return the item and who's going to give back to the text file, you know what I'm saying, and the schism, that sounds like some Microsoft stuff, right? That sounds like some Microsoft grumpy stuff. So why are you damage controlling this using something that you've been pounding Microsoft for all generation? It makes Sony look silly, and it makes you look like a hypocrite. I go back to my chat. 6996 said, I agree. And you said, okay, a different point of view finally. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm like, look, man, look. As I tell y'all, 2018, I got to keep it pristine and clean, baby. I cannot sit here and I'm not giving nobody the benefit of the doubt. I'm judging the items as what they present. I trust none of these Fortune 500 companies. My argument in 2017 just was simply, from how Microsoft presented itself, from what has happened in the past, how they had to change guard. You know what I'm saying? I can understand that. Let's give them a little bit of time to figure things out, put out a roadmap, make things clear to the hardcore. But at the end of the day, what we have in front of us right now is cool. It's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? At a grand scale in 2000, it's cool. But as we started going down the path and we started seeing this 2.1 billion roadmap where they're forgetting about the hardcore and they're trying to do this ultra casual stuff with games like Sea of Thieves and State of Decay that are easily portable, you know what I'm saying, to phones. Like, if you think about it, if their strategy was successful, they, and everybody just gobbled it up. Sea of Thieves would probably be on phones by now, and their biggest hook would be you could play with people on the phones, on the computer, whatever. Everybody gobbled this up. They would have been released that cloud technology. It's just because they're getting pushback that they ain't done that yet. That's why they made the announcement to test the water. So as that came, I had to change my approach. Everything's not okay now. So, with that being said, there is no damage control in this Fortnite situation. It's stanky. And again, from somebody that does not feel like Sony has to overall comply and do crossplay. And I also heard, well, if they get into this, they got to give it. No, they don't. Sony's known for standing firm. This just happens to be consumer practices that everybody's been flipping on Microsoft. And you can't flip this on Microsoft and then you do it. See, this is different. So now you got to do the right thing. It's hitting your bottom line. Fox News is talking about it. It's on CNBC. It's everywhere. Stock prices is going down, taking a dip. Now, I reckon what they're going to do is they're going to try to hold this out. See if the stock price go up. If they release some numbers or something like that. And then I don't know, man. Mugs is hot. Look, you took a successful strategy that Microsoft embroidered last generation, which was Microsoft went to gamers and they said, look, man, that PlayStation is too expensive, yo. You better off getting a Wii, getting a 360, and you still around the same price, man. And Sony took that same strategy. Look, Microsoft's just $100 more. You be better off getting a Wii, getting some Nintendo console, on with making Sony your main console, whatever. So now that you got the Switch out and people have embroidered that practice of having their main console, the hardcore console, and then just having a Nintendo console as their backup, their travel console. And now you hear of this feature where you can take items from a hardcore console and just port them over to your side chick console. And everybody's doing it except the number one clown in town. You can't get away from that. All right. 6996 says, never doubt Naughty Dog. And I'm glad Sony is getting help from this. Can't get too cocky. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so that's that. Let me go on to the showcase. All right. So people damage control in the showcase. Again, judging against the lowest common denominator for the win. Microsoft still don't know which way of the lane to run. You, Sony, you running one way, and then Microsoft passed you the other way. You looking at them like, where the hell you going? They still tying their shoes, man. You can't keep kicking that corpse. Practice awaits. Now, as far as the showcases is concerned, Microsoft, in my opinion, again, entertained. They had a very solid presentation, but they failed to handle their dismay. So therefore, they lost. Even though I still gave Sony a shitty score, it's the piss sandwich score over the shit sandwich score. They lost. You had a better presentation than them. So why are you looking at them at a litmus? They're running the wrong way down the lane. Does you bowl under that same scenario, go before race, go check out who was ranked 30th, the 30th ranked motherfucker, to see what time they had, to see where they need to be at in a 50-yard dash? No. You're better off comparing yourself against Nintendo right about now. You can't use that as an excuse or a crutch. Fact of the matter is, you did the ballsy thing of trying to do a showcase with primarily 4 games as your pillar. So let's go over those 4 games that you stated were your pillar. It'd be different if these 4 games were just in a cluster of games and a bigger showcase. You said, no, you need to focus on our showcase primarily because of these 4 games. So the 4 pillars are: 1 game had a shitty intro, stellar looking presentation, which is Last of Us 2, but it's mired in legitimacy controversy. Tinfoiled or not, because there was no playable demo. Game number 2, or pillar 2, Spider-Man looked good, but it didn't look that much better than what has already been shown. The only thing that really looked better was the cinematic cutscenes with all the villains at the end. But the action that you saw really didn't look much, but that's not necessarily it's not a bad thing at all. I even think Spider-Man's even going to do better than God of War. And God of War sold 5 million in 3 days. Because Spider-Man is a more recognized brand. So you have that, okay, you're showing us more of what we've seen, cool. And some more dramatic cutscenes, okay, cool. 1 game looks unfinished, Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, look, the grass and the back of the sword look pretty, but that gameplay looks stiff as hell. It looks stiff. Like I said, it looks like Kung Fu with the NES meets outside. Stop it. And then the final staple, the final game just looks pointless. Death Stranding. It looks like Metal Gear Survive, not even Metal Gear Survive meets the Twilight Zone. What the fuck was that? What was that? It looks like a waste. And with all that being said, you want to make fun of the competition fanboys of having old games and then showcasing multiplats all the time. But the most stable and applauded game at your performance was a multiplat that is a remake of an old game. Resident Evil 2. For real. It's like, look, I hate to say it. Like your boy Bear said, you can't make this shit up. you can't make this up. I'm going to go back to the chat. Big up to my man's Philosopher Doom, man. Big ups to you, yo. Neverland, what fake news you talk about now? Hey, look, man. Ain't nothing fake, bro. Ain't nothing fake, man. I got to give him the real deal Holyfield. I told y'all, 2018, I'm keeping it clean and pristine. So with that being said, even though I give y'all an edge over Microsoft is still standing at the marks when you ran down the lane tying their shoes. You can no longer use them as a crutch. They're not even in the race. It is very evident they're going to lose. This is technology. You must always strive. And this week, my friends, was not a sign of the company on top striving. Period. Stop trying to use the lowest common denominator as a litmus as well to see if you're performing well. Because if Microsoft is tying their shoes halfway through the race and then they run the wrong way the other half of the race, there's somebody that you can't compare yourself to determine if you're doing good. Like I said, when U-Bowl is starting to race, does he look at who was ranked number 30th? Does he look at that motherfucker to see how well he should place in the 50-yard dash? No. You made 4 games your staple, and I'll go over it again. One game, even though it looked great, it's mired in legitimacy controversy, tinfoiled or not, because there was no playable demo. Spider-Man looked good, but it didn't look better than what we've already seen, but it still looks good. Okay, Spider-Man's fine. Ghost of Tsushima still needs some work. A lot of it. Death Stranding honestly just needs to be scrapped. Let's just keep it real. It looks like Metal Gear Survive, and that's not a good looks way. No. And yet, y'all are damage controlling this, and this would be different if these were just games shown in a mire of a collage of a whole bunch of games. But Sony specifically told you that our showcase is going to be about these 4 games. So that's what we judging on, Sway. Now, even though Last of Us 2, and that's my game of the show, even though Last of Us 2 is mired in controversy, I'll give them a plus on that. They should have, but they still catching on. They should have had a playable demo. And Spider-Man looks good. So that's 2 out of 4. That's 50%, homie. I'll give you an extra 10% for the Resident Evil 2. And then some of the other multiplats that you showed. I'll give you an extra 15 points for that. That's how I came up with my 6.5 out of 10. I'll give you the extra 10 points for the old game. That's a multiplat that you was making fun of Microsoft. If y'all want to sit there and kick the old Crush, y'all can kick y'all damn self. The remake of an old game was the most stable show besides Spider-Man. Come on, man. Stop it. Big ups to the chat. So let me get back to the chat before I get to my last part, before I roll up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Philosopher Doom says, PlayStation did just launch those sneakers to make your Death Stranding experience more comfortable. Bully Maslin says, most you ain't shit. 6996 says, Death Stranding like some dog shit. Absolutely. The finest. Big up to the finest. That is Microsoft going to do next gen. What is Microsoft going to do next gen, Mos? I don't know. I don't trust none of these Fortune 500 companies. They'll do enough to make themselves look good. Hence, Microsoft last year, we'll pay $1 billion, you know, to fix the red ring of death. We'll pay $1 billion, right? But you release the motherfucker with a 60% failure rate, right? They'll do whatever they can, and once they got you, once they feel that you're comfortable, then they pull their shady shit. Same with Sony. They got you. So they tried to hit you with a $600 console where the processor was going to last you 2 generations. So all this glory that you see with God of War, you wasn't going to see it. And if if they would have been successful and you would have gobbled that up, that's what you would have been dealt with. Here goes Neverland. What the fuck did we see at Xbox conference other than Halo Infinite? Here we go. And then, but before that, I'm gonna go to Xbox Juice. If Xbox press conference was trash, the Sony's was dog shit. Nah, I'm gonna give Sony the Cup of Piss award, and I'm gonna give Microsoft the dog shit award. Here's why I give Sony the edge. Microsoft had more stake. If you are okay, meaning you may not be the happiest, but you're not willing to jump ship off of Microsoft, you're willing to stay with them because you really don't like what Sony got. If you're at that point and you're looking at it like, damn, I could never switch, or I could never abandon Microsoft at this point. And so then what they showed you would have been fine. But there's a bunch of us that ready to jump ship. It's like, I'm ready to let this thing go as far as claiming Microsoft. Your job was to keep me on board as well. And they didn't do that. So they had more stake to me. Even though this caused problems for Sony, their piss poor conference, it was piss poor. Microsoft was shitty in my mind. But I want to get to Neverland. Because here's what, unless Neverland is addressing the chat. This, hopefully he's just addressing the chat. Here's where I said before. Stop judging on the lowest common denominator. You get no fight out of your boy saying that Microsoft done lost the race. I done gave this analogy 1,000 times. I'll give it 1,001. Microsoft and Sony's lined up to do the 50-yard dash. On your march, get set, bang. Sony's running. Halfway down the course, they turn and look. Microsoft's still tying their shoes. Does that mean that Sony says, oh, they tying their shoes, I'm going to win this race? Okay. And just they start skipping and doing the D on to the finish line? No. This is technology. You always got to be pushing innovation and top-notch stuff forward. These last few showcases from Sony were evident that they're like, we got this in the bag. We ain't got to give it our all. You should always give it your all. And you should always expect your all from these companies because you're a gamer. Period. So Neverland, I hope that's just banter for you in the chat. I hope you're not saying Sony did well because they did better than Microsoft. That's taking the cup of piss over the shit sandwich. Death Stranding was horrible. Ghost of Tsushima's unfinished. Last of Us, to me, my game of the show, but it's mired in controversy. Where's the playable demo at? You could have shut this up real quick. Where's the playable demo? But I'll still give them the point for that. That's 2 out of 4. That's only 50%. I can only boost this score up to 6.5. Stop it. So with that all being said, here's the lesson that should be learned. Yes, the media sucks. And they suck more for Microsoft because, yes, there is media bias. And I've gone over that. I'm not going, but it doesn't matter for Microsoft because Microsoft used to eat that media bias and use it as fuel. But this is the first time I've ever addressed this, and this is very important. Being on the Sony side of this, using the media as a staple could be a double-edged sword. Because they're seeing that right now this week. When they get low on clicks, when they can't bash Microsoft, because everybody's tired of bashing Microsoft. They done kicked the corpse. It's like beating up on somebody and the motherfucker's just sitting there. They're not even groaning anymore. You're not getting a reaction from them. They completely knocked out. The media's tired of beating on them. They're like, man, I still got a couple of blows to throw. And they turn and they look to their right. Who's sitting there glossing and gleaming and shining? Sony. So when they clicks get low because they can't beat Microsoft no more, everyone's tired of it. Microsoft done pretty much said it itself. We just re-up it for next gen. The body's limb is not even growing anymore. Ain't no more none of that. They will turn on anyone. So the media sucks, period. So let this be a lesson to Sony and its fanboys. Don't be sitting there trying to make excuses for this media, trying to boast that they're okay. They're just gamers like me. No, the media sucks. They have an agenda, and see what happens? They'll turn on you just like that. Lesson number 2, particularly for gamers. You can trust none of these Fortune 500 companies. Sony did shady shit last gen. Microsoft did it this gen. It looks like Sony's revving up towards the end of this gen to do some shady shit. It just goes back and forth. They are not embroidered to you. They are embroidered to their investors. The real master will tell you. The real master will tell you. They are not embedded with you. They're embedded with their investors. That's why they gave that excuse. Now, what Sony's going to do is because they understand their public perception. They don't want to look bad. So they're going to try to wait this out. But if the investment trend continues to go down, then they're going to give on this. There's an industry term for what they're observing right now. It's called reputational risk. They're trying to look and see how bad This is striking their reputation against their investors. And if their trend, after all this positive money-making news, there's no reason why their stock should be dipping at this moment. With all these sales benchmarks, all this money that PlayStation is making for them, if they continue to even see the smallest trends financially go down, they can't afford that. Like I said, they're in a tough business sector. Max will tell you, they're against Amazon, iPhone, who else? Samsung. They're in a very tough business sector. They'll never top those people. That's the business. So what happens is, when you're an investor, you look at how not only the company, if you're a good investor, you not only look at how good the company's doing, but how they're doing against their peers in their business sector. They're in a very tough business sector. Because then if I'm looking at that business sector, because some people gauge the indexes like that as far as investing in stocks. They say, well, if I'm going to invest in this business sector, I might as well go for Samsung. They're a lot more lucrative. So they can't afford to be in that business sector and be underwater or their stock going down for any amount of time, whether it's just a tickle or a lot. So if we continue to see this downward trend where their stock is losing instead of gaining, even after all this financial wooing, they're going to give in, period, because they're beholden to their investors, just like Microsoft is beholden to theirs. And their investors love what they're doing, even on the gaming side, because with minimum effort, Microsoft still made $2.5 billion last quarter. So you can trust none of these Fortune 500 companies. And then the last lesson is always, I don't care if you're PlayStation, Microsoft, PC, TurboGrafx, Game Gear, Coleco, I don't care what you fanboying for. Always demand better. This is technology, damn it. Stop acting like you get a check from these people or they're paying your student loans or something like that. Stop it. They're providing you goods and services and you're buying it. They're supposed to give you good stuff. You ain't supposed to keep giving to them and they don't constantly give to you. You got every right as a consumer. As soon as they stop, you stop. You ain't got to continue to have faith in nobody. Because that's what keeps the feet under the fire for them to keep producing so they can keep getting your money. And especially now that we're paying these online services, I'll be damned if I'm going to keep continuing giving money to Microsoft and if they're not giving me what I want. More on that later. And the same should go for you. If Sony wants to coast for the rest of this gen, you shouldn't be happy with that. They done made buku money. They got enough down to where they can keep pumping it out for you. Back to my bro, the real man Slim. Y'all don't want what he wants for y'all. He's a PC gamer. So y'all try, because he don't love and kiss everything Sony, y'all think that he's a Microsoft. No, he don't give a damn. Like he said, I don't give a damn. He wants Microsoft to fail. So y'all fanboys can get what y'all want. And y'all don't want that, trust me, because if Sony's the only mug around in town, you're going to really be hurting. You ain't going to see quality shit. Sony's been doing this for years. I done told y'all, I'm an old dude. When I was growing up, they would have the My First Radio and My First this and My First that. And all it was aesthetically pleasing, plastic covered versions of like radios and shovels. My First shovel, which is a plastic shovel. And it would be more than a real shovel. My First radio was just a plastic radio with Sony's name on it. And it would be more than a real radio. Didn't work any better. It worked the same. It was just covered in plastic and attracted to a can. And we gobbled them up. Sony's been doing this for years, for generations, for decades and decades and decades. Don't trust none of these companies. This is technology, damn it. And again, I say, stop acting like you get a check from these people. Always demand better. So with that said, I want to go to my chat, see what's going on here, because it's piping hot. Y'all digging into it. We'll read what's going on in the chat. Neverland said he was unimpressed with well, hold on. Let me go up a little further. The finder said Gears 5, Neverland, Horizon 4 2. Neverland said they was unimpressed with that. Neverland said Microsoft is the biggest cut this generation, most. They won't even get any third-party locked content. So those multiplats they showed were all fake news. I can just play them on the PlayStation 4. Neverland, man. I'm seeing, man. I'm gonna have to order the special dosages from you, man. Why are we talking Microsoft? Microsoft ain't even in the race. They're the shit sandwich. Who cares? I am not one. I want quality, top-notch quality 24/7. I am not going to the lowest common denominator and looking at what they're doing. Again, 50-yard dash. Does Yul Ball, the fastest man on the planet, does he go look and see what the rank 30th motherfuckers doing out here as far as a 50-yard dash? No. Let's stop going to the lowest common denominator. I don't give a shit what Microsoft is doing. I done dropped them. This conference was bullshit. I am a PSN Plus subscriber now, but I'm paying these mugs a subscription. I don't want this bullshit. I didn't jump on PSN Plus to see what this greatness is all about to get this dumb shit. No. I'm not worried about what Microsoft is doing. They've already lost me. Stop judging by the lowest common denominator. PlayStation is the HCIC, the head console in charge. They need to see Microsoft run and say, oh, okay, I'm going to really do it now. I'm going to really impress. Stop that. Philosopher Doom says, I know all the games I'm interested in will look better on my X. Cyberpunk, Fallout 2, Rage 2, Sekiro. I'm chilling, fam. And you know what? And that's why I said, dude, as far as having an Xbox in front of you right now, that's cool. But that roadmap, no. And look, let's look at this generation, man. As far as genre defining, as far as like stellar games, I mean like, woo, Witcher 3, God of War. As far as genre defining, I mean like doing something new and innovative, Witcher 3. God of War is a great game, but it's just basically taking the Sony formula and it perfected it into God of War. And it finally put in some goddamn good gameplay in a Sony first party. But you notice how I ain't say nothing Microsoft. Microsoft ain't do the damn thing this generation. So with that being said, this was a lackluster generation overall in comparison to others. In comparison to last gen where you had Mass Effect, BioShock, Gears, and then even Last of Us, Uncharted, you know what I'm saying? Even Dark Souls, you know what I'm saying? You had the genre definer was just oozing. You didn't get that this gen. So I get that, and that only comes from the influence of the first party development, or in Microsoft's case, the first party intervention. Like, I'll say this again, I say it 1,000 times. Ken Levine told you there would not be no BioShock if it wasn't for Microsoft. I can't imagine a gaming world without BioShock. Because Sony wasn't pressing that. It was Microsoft that did that. Even though it wasn't a Microsoft first party studio game and it ended up becoming available on all consoles, we have Microsoft to thank for that. Sony brought you Last of Us with the climate, not Last of Us, Uncharted with the climate mechanic. Everybody tried to do the climate mechanic. That's genre defining. We're not getting at this, Jim. So I get that it's cool that you got a system that plays the best multiplats, but I'm always looking for the best of I'm always looking for the generation to be pushed forward. And I want that generation pushed forward by the intervention of the first party. And we're not getting that intervention the way that we should. right now. We're just getting prettier games. We keep rolling in the chat. 6996 like, nah, Mos. I like beat that dead horse over and over. Kick the fuck out of Xbox. Xbox is a zombie right now. Nevertheless, said media looking at Microsoft like the kid who didn't win an awards in class. Teacher gives out the pity award. Whatever the case may be, they come in to aid. Hey, look, it reminds me of, you know what it reminds me of? Was it World War Z with Brad Pitt in there? And remember the one Coliseum scene where the zombies overtook Jerusalem. And they had overtook Jerusalem. They had climbed the wall that Jerusalem had built. Right? And then they was running. There was this kid that was sick that was standing there, right? And the zombies started running towards the kids. And Brad Pitt and or I don't know if it was Brad, but they're looking like, oh my God, they're about to devour this kid. They run towards the kid and they separate around the kid and they run right past him. And you come to find out it was because the dude was sick. And the zombies don't even waste their time trying to infect the sick, because if you're about to die, it serves no purpose for the disease that's that the zombie is trying to carry. And that's what the media is like. They done beat Microsoft to a sickness. They're like, we're done beating this mug. So now they running rampant looking for clicks, and they just run right past Microsoft. Now they ain't worried about that, and I don't blame them for it. Because Microsoft ain't even running the race as far as I'm concerned. They running right past Microsoft, and they going towards Sony. Because that's exactly it. Greatness awaits. Well, let's see the greatness awaits. Let's see it 24/7. Keep it pumping. Keep it pumping. The finances, they all want money, Mos. Absolutely. Kyle Palmer. Bigs up to Kyle Palmer. Thank you for joining the chat. Ha, ponytail fanboy salt like always. What's up, Palmer? Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Mighty Most. Why Microsoft version of Fortnite be out of paywall? You know, yeah, I mean, that doesn't matter. Look, that's a Microsoft practice. They got hammered for that. They got laughed and clowned for that. Sony should not dip this foot in that pool at all. Let people get their cosmetics or whatever. Forget crossplay. I agree with you, Sony. You want to play with my peoples? You want to play with my Sony peoples? Get you a PlayStation 4. That's not business gangster. I ain't got nothing against that. But if everybody's out there letting people get their cosmetics, things that they purchase, then you do it too, for crying out loud. Don't be grimy like that. That's just being grimy. Not locking down their content that they purchase or whatever is not benefiting you at all. It's not going to force them to say, well, because I bought this stuff, I'm only going to play it on PlayStation 4. They're going to begrudgingly buy it over again on the Switch, and then they're going to dog you for it. There is no plus, there is no upside to this. Yeah, Kyle. I'm doing 1440p. Because I've been trying to do my God of War streams, and Microsoft on the low, I don't know what they did, man. Hey, look, Microsoft on the low, because I went and got Cat 7 cables. That's why I'm not streaming God of War anymore. I'm not streaming God of War because for a while my God of War streams was right. You know what I'm saying? 6996 was like, oh, this is what's up. Even though I'm trashed, he's like, this is what's up, yo. I had Neverland in there, like, okay, this is cool. You know what I'm saying? Neverland helping your boy out. Then all of a sudden, that April update came out. And then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? My PlayStation 4 streams were garbage. They were super pixelated. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, what's going on? And I use, look, I don't want to give my secrets away all the way, but I use the PlayStation 4 remote app. There's just a certain trick that I was doing in order to make it look, you know, semi-glossy. You know what I mean? So when that April update came, messed that all up. I've been doing all these fixes. It works for all the other applications except for this one. So I rigged something to 1440p. It works slightly, but it's not there yet. So I'm just going to finish God of War. I'm going to post some videos here and there. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. All right. Y'all going at it this chat, man. This is hey yo, man. Yo, man. Y'all got too much stuff going on in this chat, man. Hey yo, big ups to the chat, man. Y'all doing the damn thing. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Kate Megan got hugged by Antonio Holmes at E3, man. Y'all better stop. What about next gen was broadcasting God of War though? Yeah, man. I'm telling you. That's the yeah. So big ups to everybody. I want to thank you for joining. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it, man. Kyle Palmer also says, I thought this was about bashing on Fortnite and shit, not lack of tech. Look, man, I get it if Microsoft is your favorite console, and that's cool, but we all got to demand better. Microsoft having the X is great. Having backwards compatibility is excellent. With that being said, we also need Xbox to go back to its staples, bring back them AAA bangers. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. And like I said, Microsoft could have, like you had some of the best looking games. Of the best looking games, they were all on your stage except for maybe two, except for Last of Us and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Why wasn't there some type of content with those games, man? Exclusive content. I know that you opened 5 studios, but I don't know what the hell them studio you got the line for them studios to do. And going off what you had we're doing, man, I'm not confident with that. We need something now. If you told me that you picked up CD Projekt Red or BioWare, then it'd be a different story. And Ninja Theory, yeah, cool. But you ain't pick up nobody like a BioWare or a CD Projekt and say, I can't just go off it now. You pick one of them up, yeah. And then the thing is, you pick up the one group that was doing, which I'm gonna do a video on this. So stay tuned. My Xbox people's gonna be angry again with your boy. You pick up the studio that did We Happy Few. And then they ask you, well, are we still gonna do this multi-console? And you say, yeah. We're going to still do this multi-console. And Phil's exact words were, I'm not trying to keep content off of other platforms. What? We Happy Few was first an Xbox exclusive. Then them fuddy-duddy mugs at Gearbox. See, man, I used to love Randy Pitchford of them. Now I'm really shaky about them. I'm going to do a video about him too. I used to love him back in the Brother in Arms days and then when Borderlands 1 came out. Man, I used to love Randy Pitchford. Now, I don't know about that dude anymore. But when Gearbox got their fuddy-duddy hands on it, they made it multi-plat. This is your chance to say, nah, Randy, and make it exclusive again. Fight for your consumer. And what you do, nah, I don't want to keep it on the console. It don't matter. These mugs are now being paid by you. Drop them off a couple bucks off of maybe some of what they would have lost for not being, multi-plat. So what? This is for the consumer. I'm hitting, I'm over an hour. Thank you, Kyle, for keeping up with your boy. But big ups to the chat. Kyle Palmer, the finest. Philosopher Doom. Mr. Righteous Fish, where you been at, man? You late. Oh, man, you gonna have to rewind this, man. Cyrus Burke, what's up? Who else? We 6996. Who else we got? We had Neverland in there with his damage control and shit. But no, Neverland, the mod of the year, man. You can still got my vote, bro. The real Maslin with his bullshit. Xbox Juice. Let me see, man. Y'all was going crazy in here, man. Y'all made me wish I wasn't talking. I was in this chat. The finest. Yo. Big up to everybody. Thank y'all for joining, man. I really appreciate it. And again, let me just say this before I roll. PNTS Network is the network that hosts Scram Punks, all right? The podcast that I do with TRS. TRS got some big things coming. TRS do a lot of gaming. You know the moniker, your boy don't do no games. Don't play no games. TRS be gaming every goddamn night. He about to drop something on the PNTS network, and they got some things coming, man. Definitely check out the channel. They're trying to do some around the clock entertainment for you guys. And TRS is my peoples, you know what I'm saying? So, I'll contribute to help every way I can. And also, like you see in the screens below, please check out the Broadband Bullies. Check out that Patreon. It's fly. Check out the gears fly. You know what I'm saying? Yo, we doing the damn thing. And as always, thank you, everybody. I got to do some things. We got to take care of some things with the wifey. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day.